Good afternoon. We decided today to raise the target rate for the federal funds rate by 1/4 percentage point, bringing it to 1.5 to 1 3/4%. This decision marks another step in the ongoing process of gradually scaling back monetary policy accommodation, a process that has been underway for several years now. Job gains averaged 240,000 per month over the past 3 months, well above the pace needed in the longer run to absorb new. Job gains averaged 240,000 per month over the past 3 months, well above the pace needed in the longer run to absorb new entrants into the labor force. The unemployment rate remained low in February at 4.1%, while the labor force participation rate moved higher. Over the past 4 years, the participation rate has remained roughly unchanged. That's a sign of improvement, given that the aging of our population is putting downward pressure on the participation rate. And we expect that the job market will remain strong. Based on the projections that committee participants submitted for this meeting, the median projection for the growth of inflation-adjusted GDP is 2.7% this year, 2.4% next year, and 2% in 2020, a bit above its estimated longer-run rate. The median projection for the unemployment rate stands at 3.8% in the fourth quarter of this year and runs at 3.6% over the next 2 years, almost a percentage point below the median estimate of its longer-run normal rate. Finally, the median inflation projection is 1.9% this year, 2% next year, and 2.1% in 2020. In January, the core price index, which excludes the prices of energy and food, and on the one hand, the risk would be that we wait too long and then we have to raise rates quickly, and that foreshortens the expansion. We don't want to do that. On the other side, if we raise rates too quickly, inflation then really doesn't get sustainably up to 2%, and that will hurt us going forward. We need that, and we need to make sure that inflation expectations are anchored at 2%. So we're trying to take that middle ground, and the committee continues to believe that the middle ground consists of further gradual increases in the federal funds rate as long as the economy is broadly on this path. At times it may be above 2%, just as at times it may be below. Our inflation press conferences. That's something that I'm going to be carefully considering. I have not made a decision about it. My colleagues and I are committed to communicating as clearly as possible about what we're doing and why we're doing it. I would want to think very carefully about it and make sure that no one would take more frequent press conferences as a signal of the path of policy. And so it's something that I'll be thinking about, which could leave us with less scope to counter an economic downturn in the future. A number of participants in this FOMC did bring up the issue of tariffs, and if I could summarize what came out of that, it was first that there's no thought, I think, that changes in trade policy should have any effect on the current outlook. Second thing is, I would say, is that a number of participants reported about their conversations with business leaders around the country, and reported that trade policy has become a concern going forward for that group.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.